Uttar Pradesh. In a landmark development in India's fight against left-wing extremism, Chhattisgarh police have confirmed the killing of Madvi Hidma. In fact, let's bring you this entire Naxal encounter that's rocked the entire country. One of the most feared Maoist commanders in Bastar has been gunned down today. The confirmation came from senior security officials with Bastar Range Inspector General of Police Suresh acknowledging the breakthrough. Hidma, remember, is the chief of PLGA's Battalion Number 1. He was a central figure in Maoist operations and had long evaded security forces. According to intelligence sources, his elimination now marks a major security milestone. Why? Because Hidma was responsible for several brutal attacks across Bastar, even Sukma, Dantewada and Malakangiri. His death is expected to disrupt Maoist logistics, even recruitment and coordinated operations at large. Recent intensified actions have already cut Maoist influence by nearly 40%. IG Sundaraj has now hailed this development as a decisive phase in dismantling the insurgent network. We bring you some reactions.
सत्यनारायण रेड्डी के रामचंद्र रेड्डी अभी गरियाबंद इलाके में मोडम बालकृष्ण चलपति और अन्य जो सीमावर्ती राज्यों में गजाला रवि सहदेव विवेकमान जी इस प्रकार महोदयों का लगभग 9-10 टॉप लेवल के पोलिट ब्यूरो मेंबर एवं सेंट्रल कमेटी मेंबर्स का डेड बॉडी अलग अलग मुठभेड़ में रिकवर किए गए थे, लेकिन सबका ये तलाश रहा जो आतंक का चेहरा है उन्हें अप्रिहेंड करने के लिए लगातार प्रयास जारी रखा। हमारे क्षेत्र की जनता का जान माल को नुकसान पहुंचाने के लिए साजिश रचते हुए जंगल में अभी भी सक्रिय है। उन्हें भी हम अपील करना चाहते हैं, अभी वक्त है हिंसा छोड़कर समाज की मुख्यधारा में शामिल होने के लिए सामने आना चाहिए।
Today morning, one exchange of fire has taken place between Maoist and security forces, in which 6 Maoist dead bodies have been recovered, AK-47 2, pistol 1, revolver 1, single bore weapon 1, and other materials along with kit bags and all. The body is being shifted. The postmortem will be done as per the due process, and necessary action will be taken after that.
All right, let's also take you through the entire footprint of this Red Terror and how India's intensified operations against Naxal movement has now led to perhaps what Prime Minister Modi himself calls a Naxal Mukt Bharat. Remember, that was also a critical aspect of the entire campaign in Bihar. And so if you look at the regions particularly which were traumatized by Red Terror, you're looking at the state of Chhattisgarh, you're looking at Sukma, you're looking at Konta, and you're looking at Darba. These are the 3 particular districts which happen to be on high alert when it comes to a Naxal operation. But now with Hidma's killing, this is what security agencies are in fact saying, that this means a huge setback to the operations, to the leadership, to the hierarchy when it comes to the Naxal. At the same time, I must highlight to you that the footprint of the Naxal terrorism has also shrunk, whereas it was 76 districts which were traumatized till the year 2013. You're looking at just 6 districts which are most affected by Naxal terror. On that note, let me quickly go across to Arunima, who's been tracking that story for us. Arunima, what does this mean now when we talk about the intensified operations and Hidma's killing? What will it mean for the foot soldiers now left on ground level?
See, Home Minister's target of March 2026, for a long time now, central paramilitary forces, intelligence agencies, state police, they were all saying that that target could well be achieved by December 2025. After what has happened today, they're saying it could well be achieved in November itself, so advanced by at least 4 months. Hidma, when he escaped from the Karagutta Hills, the KGL Hills, in April 2025, this is the time when Pahalgam was also unfolding. So one of the biggest internal security challenges was unfolding in Pahalgam, and at that point Home Minister reviewed the security and gave the security grid a target that by end of November Hidma must be brought to justice. 12 days to go, security grid has achieved that, and now there is news coming in that not just Hidma one of the topmost Maoist leaders could also be in the net of the security forces. I'm not yet giving out the name because I'm waiting for an official confirmation from the top brass, but enough indication that one of the top commanders of CPI Maoists could have been in the net of the security forces as well. So if that is true, then it is virtually full stop. Even without that, with Hidma gone, Naxalism has come down on Naxalism in Chhattisgarh. The cadre will have no leadership left now. So the security forces are quite upbeat. They feel now it's going to be en masse surrender, or they'll just have to perish. So in that backdrop, it is looking like Hidma's, being brought to justice and the arrests that have happened in Vijayawada today. Together, today's date could go down in history as the day when Naxalism virtually was brought to its knees in India.
Okay, Arunima, when we talk about these security operations, we are looking at how these security operations with the help of intelligence inputs are conducted. There's also the crackdown on the terror infrastructure of them, which includes the financing of it. But now, with, as you're rightly highlighting, the cadre is completely wiped out. Much of focus is also going to be on perhaps the rehabilitation of all of those who have surrendered and may also surrender with the leadership getting wiped out. Could you shed more light on what is going to be the challenge next?
So not just the cadre, the focus of the government will also be on rehabilitating the villagers. Why did CPI Maoists manage to find foothold? Because they convinced the local villagers that their jal, jungle, zameen was endangered. Their basic natural resources would be taken away, they would lose their forest rights, and the only way that can be protected is if they owe allegiance to CPI Maoists, which does not allow government machinery to come inside deep into the forest. That was the ideology why CPI Maoists survived all those years. Militarily, you could have wiped out the cadre, arrested the leadership or brought them to justice, but you will have to win over the people of Sukhma, of Dantewada, of Bijapur, Gadchiroli, all these areas. First thing to do is to ensure that they have confidence in the government machinery. Already baby steps are being taken. The PDS system has reached there. Primary healthcare centers, schools, etc. are all reaching there. Mobile towers are playing a huge role because the youngsters in these parts are now getting exposed to the internet. To this, they're getting a new viewpoint about the world that they had not seen so far. And I think the government is working towards pushing this initiative ahead so that the mainstreaming of these forest dwellers gets completed.
Many thanks to you, Arunima, for bringing us all those extensive inputs. So on that note, as we were highlighting, such has been the intensity of the entire operation that in just over 10 years, we've seen all of these Naxal-affected districts and states now, in fact, show visible reduction. Remember, in 2013, you're looking at 76 districts which were affected. Which were these states? You're looking at Andhra Pradesh, you're looking at Telangana, you're looking at Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, even Karnataka. They all were heavily impacted. If you look at this, there was a time when most of the eastern part, and in fact the central part of India, was affected by red terror. At the same time, there were pockets also in northern parts of the country, some even in the southern parts. But now, if you look at just the year 2025, they've been brought down to merely 6 districts. And Naxal Mukt Bharat is what the Union Home Minister, what Prime Minister Modi themselves have in fact been elaborating on, with March 2026 in fact being the deadline. But with Hidma's killing today, as Arunima has also been highlighting, perhaps it could very well be the end of Naxal terror in November of 2025 itself. On that note, let's also play out an exclusive conversation that our group editor, Mr. Rahul Joshi, had with the Union Home Minister Amit Shah. While speaking to CNN News 18, he spoke about a Naxal Mukt Bharat mission. He's also reiterated that by March next year, India will be Naxal-free. Let's play out that conversation for you.